When was our last Pro-Am gig?
January, I think. Back in January. Like, how many? 9 months ago? Yikes.
Yeah, man, that's scary. So what have you been doing for the last 9 months?
Practicing, keeping the chops up. Really, I don't play all that much saxophone anymore. But lately I've been thinking, need to keep the chops short up. That and working on fretless bass, because I've been playing fretless with the Northwest Jazz Conspiracy big band up here in Everett. And when I'm not doing music, I'm usually making some kind of a model just because it's fun. I find it really fun to do.
And, the stuff that you build is amazing. Can you talk a little bit about how you got into that as a hobby?
Well, for people that have no idea what we're talking about, I have a fully functional R2-D2 astromech in my garage. And as of last week, I have a fully functional, almost fully functional BB-8 droid in my dining room. And how all this got started, I was working a day job at a company that was purchased by Honeywell, and one of our industrial design managers handed me a copy of Make Magazine. For those of you that like to make stuff, Make Magazine is where everything of that kind of stuff is at, using Arduinos and building planet-saving things and using electronics and building rockets with real telemetry. And so here's an article on how to build your own R2-D2. And I'm thinking, God, that's ridiculous. How much does that cost? And I thought, I'm a model maker. I like to make models. I like Star Wars because of the models you can make from that. And I thought an R2-D2 that drives around and beeps and looks and sounds like R2 would be like one of the ultimate models you can make as a model maker. So I thought, okay, gonna get this done. And 2.5 years later, he was in the garage beeping and driving around and generally bringing good cheer to everyone who sees him, which is really kind of nice. About 6 months later, as if I didn't have enough 2.5 years spending building a droid. About 6 months later, I stumbled across the BB-8 Builders Club. And I started to think, well, how much harder will this be? It was a fair distance harder, but most of that work has been done during the pandemic. And I had budget to build BB-8 at the end of last year. And I thought, even as the pandemic hit and financial futures were questionable for everybody, I thought very foolishly, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And so as of last week, I have video of BB-8 driving around and beeping a little bit. And that project was several ticks harder than the R2-D2, I won't lie. The result is a functional BB-8 that is now in the dining room getting final testing and calibration. The moment of truth was when I had some people over, for the very first time to see the R2, and everyone's jaws hit the ground. Everyone, grown-ups are going, oh, and they revert back to being 12-year-old kids. And that's really the whole point of having these movie stars in your house, and people posing for pictures and sending them on this, oh my gosh, I'm in R2-D2, and that whole thing going on. And so it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
You have a really interesting story of how you actually got started in music, and it wasn't jazz at all. Can you talk about that a little bit?
No. So for people that don't know, my parents are from Guam, which is 6,000 miles from here out in the Western Pacific. And I know I don't come from an elementary band and then a junior high jazz band. I don't come from that background at all. I'm one of the kind of the prototypical self-taught musicians. I had a cassette and a book that you read the book and you played the cassette. You could play along with the cassette, Learning Unlimited, Tenor Saxophone, Part 1. And so I've been playing for a couple of months. And some guys at my high school were starting an actual band. And they said, hey, we're starting a band. Do you want to be in the band? You're a saxophone player. We don't have one. Sure. And they said, we have this gig in 2 months at the girls' high school downtown. You want to be in the band and learn a song for this gig? They said, here's a song we need you to learn for this gig. And it was Just the Way You Are by Billy Joel, featuring, and I did not know this at the time, this wonderful alto solo by Phil Woods. I had no idea what I was listening to, but of course there's nothing written down. There's no transcriptions. And even if there had been, I would not have known to go get one. I wasn't really reading music at all. A lot of it was just learning by ear. So played a record, play a little bit, try to copy the thing. Play the record some more, try to copy the thing. So to me, the way that you learn music was by trying to copy what you heard on the records, which it turns out is exactly what you're supposed to do when you're trying to learn to play jazz music. Yeah, there's lots of books and videos and DVDs and who knows what else is out there that are educational aids nowadays. But back in old days, learn to do it just by play the record and try to copy what you hear.
Yeah, although you might not advise somebody who's only been playing for 2 months to start with Phil Woods. No, that was probably, and I had no idea that it would be hard or easy. I just figured that's how you do it. But, the other saxophone players I was listening to back in the day, Boots Randolph. My dad was a big Boots Randolph fan. We had Boots Randolph records in the house. Ace Cannon, whoever the saxophone player was with Bill Black's combo, which I think for a while was Ace Cannon. But, I was not raised on Sonny Rollins or Train or Brecker or any of those guys. It was, Boots Randolph and Ace Cannon.